Chapter 1, Strongest Link, page 13. The strongest link in the chiropractic chain of principles and practices is the understanding, knowledge, and acknowledgement of the practical application of innate intelligence as a working reality within and internal to all living creatures, regardless. That workable and working intellectuality which generates, transmits, and expresses itself between source in brain, ending in tissue cell, between brain and body via nerves. When brain generation, nerve transmission, and tissue cell expression are in normal quantity between brain and body, life is normal, function is natural, and health is a living par quality. Innate, in its infinite wisdom, has set up its abode at a place and in a manner beyond reach of any and all its educated offspring. In innate portion of brain, thinking and acting in such a manner that it and its residents cannot be and never are interfered with in any manner. Between generation in brain and expression in tissue cell, there can be and usually is interference via transmission over nerves in all vertebra, especially species Homo sapien. These interference occurs only in one area, the occipital atlantoaxial region of the spinal column, between skull and backbone, be it biped, quadrupled, or any other vertebra, biped, quadruped, I said those wrong, or any other vertebrates. Nerve fibers are the extensional prolongation, development of brain cell continuity to tissue cell to reduce their quantity, carrying capacity by interference. If to reduce quantity, functional activity in periphery in tissue cell, reducing its frequency of speed of action per unit of time, be that minute, hour, day, week, month, or year, permitting time to grow, of functional and pathological dis-ease. To reduce functional rate of speed is to reduce its individual functional product, or its calmingly. It's strange. You get to see how difficult it is to read some of this because it's in all caps, commas everywhere. These are all one long run-on sentence. Multiple byproducts in exact ratio as functional activity has been reduced and its product corresponding loss of quality, values in relationship with other products of other organs. Time is the important element in destruction of normal to abnormal, health to dis-ease, life to death. Concussion and forces where an external invasionary force clashes with internal resisting force, where an external accidentally tries to invade, and innate internally intentionally tries to resist, can PRO caps, deuce lowercase, either fracture, dislocation, misalignment, or subluxation of the continuity of osseous structures of bony framework of vertebra. Now I have notes in here, this next paragraph, earthly second generation of thought, the early explanation. I like that, okay. Chiropractic confines itself to knowledge of, location of, position of, causation of, and correction of Pro, all those words were all in caps, okay? Pro is 3 letters capped, duction in reduction, to reduction. I really feel BJ and Dee Dee were speaking in codes because they both wrote this way, and they're both Masons. But it's very interesting. Vertebral subluxation occludes an intervertebral foramen through which pass spinal cord and or spinal nerves. Reduction in diameter and or circumference of spinal or intervertebral canal or foramen produces constricting pressure upon nerves, reducing their diameter and or circumference, thus reducing their carrying or transmitting capacity, producing an actual short or shortening of continuity of flow of continuous nerve forces or mental impulses supply between normal source or origination, in parentheses brain, and abnormal place of expression, parentheses tissue cell. When a vertebral subluxation is adjusted, it being a mechanical misalignment of a segment of the human mechanical line shaft, it releases pressure upon spinal cord or spinal nerves. Restoration of normal quantity flow of nerve force or innate mental impulse supply takes place. Transmission between innate and function abstracts, brain and body concentrates, concreates, is restored, producing normal quality of health. It's a mouthful. That's why I'm reading it, and we have this because sometimes we're reading these to ourselves, and it's a lot to digest in our brain because we're getting B.J. Palmer, and he's writing on these large rolls, typewriter continuously going, and he's free flow of thought. Thought flashes coming from innate, passing through his educated, and giving this in a way sometimes it's not so easy to read. All the commas, he changes the spellings of words, doesn't use conjunctions. So it's interesting, but now we have it set in MP3 and MP4. Normal quantity, normal quantity flow reaches tissue cell. Oh, I skipped a paragraph. I'm going back. When vertebral subluxation is adjusted, it's being mechanical misaligned of a segment of the human mechanical shaft. I'm reading this again on purpose. It releases pressure upon spinal cord or spinal nerves. Restoration of normal quantity flow of nerve force or innate mental impulse. Because of that sentence, innate mental impulse, I like, but D.D. Palmer said more importantly, it is a vital force. How your body functions is the vitality of the system. I call myself a vitalistic chiropractor. That's the most important factor. Pulse supply, innate mental impulse supply takes place. Transmission between innate and function abstracts. Brain and body concreates, is restored, producing normal quality of health. When normal quantity flow reaches tissue cell, it increases functional activity, increasing its speed of action, increasing its functional rate of function, increasing its production of byproduct in exact ratio as functional activity has been increased. Reestablishing corresponding quality values. It is interrelationships with other products of other organs. That's a lot. I'm going to read this again. I wrote this at the top here. This is the first generation D.D. the grandfather. Spiritual connection of materia, which is what BJ is actually mentioning here. Earthly is the second generation, which is what DD is actually the second generation. You realize that? And he speaks more in earthly terms at this point. Second generation of thought. These are their early easy explanations. This is what BJ's easy explanation is. This is my note to myself from the last time we read this. All right, we'll be starting on chapter 2, time, on page 15.